Los Angeles, the city of eternal sunshine, rarely wore the cloak of rain. But on this particular evening, the skies opened, sending delicate yet persistent raindrops cascading onto the pavement. The quiet streets of Silver Lake glistened under the soft glow of streetlights, the usual buzz of nightlife subdued by the weather. Zendaya sat in the back seat of a black sedan, staring out at the rain-streaked window as droplets chased one another in unpredictable paths. She wasn't dressed like a star tonight. There were no cameras, no entourage, no shimmering gowns. Instead, she wore a plain gray hoodie, the kind that swallowed her slender frame, paired with faded jeans and worn sneakers. A baseball cap sat low over her forehead, partially concealing her unmistakable features. For all intents and purposes, she was just another face in the city, a nobody, and that was exactly the point. Zendaya wasn't here to be seen. She wasn't here to be Zendaya. Tonight, she was simply an observer, slipping into the shoes of someone ordinary. Fame was a double-edged sword, after all. It brought adoration and opportunity, but it also shielded her from the raw, unfiltered realities of everyday life. She'd always wondered, how did the world treat people who weren't seen as special? Did kindness prevail in the absence of fame? Or was it reserved only for those society deemed important? The idea had come to her during a quiet moment in her living room, scrolling through the endless barrage of news and social media posts. One particular story had caught her eye, a viral video of a man in tattered clothes being mistreated at a cafe. It wasn't the first time she'd seen such blatant disregard for humanity, but something about it stuck with her. How often, she wondered, did people judge others based solely on appearances? How often had she herself been shielded from the harshness of reality simply because of who she was? That night, Zendaya resolved to do something different. She wouldn't make a grand statement or film a documentary. Instead, she would disappear into the fabric of everyday life and see the world through someone else's eyes. And so, armed with a plan and a borrowed hoodie from her brother, she found herself outside Harmony Grounds, a small coffee shop in Silver Lake known for its cozy ambiance and local charm. It was the perfect setting for her quiet experiment. The bell above the cafe door jingled softly as Zendaya stepped inside, shaking off the drizzle from her hoodie. The warmth of the cafe enveloped her, a stark contrast to the chilly air outside. The scent of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the faint aroma of cinnamon, instantly grounding her in the moment. The cafe was alive with quiet activity. A group of students huddled over laptops in one corner, their faces illuminated by the glow of their screens. A young couple shared a quiet conversation near the window, their fingers intertwined. And behind the counter stood two baristas, each a study in contrast. The first, a young man named Liam, radiated warmth and positivity. His smile came easily, and his movements were efficient yet unhurried. He seemed genuinely happy to be there, greeting each customer with a level of enthusiasm that was both rare and refreshing. Beside him was Amanda. Her posture was stiff, her movements impatient, and her expression suggested she would rather be anywhere else. Zendaya watched as Amanda rolled her eyes at a customer who hesitated too long over their order, muttering something under her breath. Zendaya joined the short line at the counter, keeping her head low. When it was her turn, Liam greeted her with the same warmth he'd shown every customer before her. "Hey there! What can I get started for you today?" he asked, his tone genuinely friendly. "A latte, please," Zendaya replied, her voice soft but steady. She reached into her hoodie pocket and pulled out a crumpled $10 bill, smoothing it out before handing it to him. "You got it," Liam said with a nod, punching her order into the register. He handed her the change with a cheerful, "Thank you." As Zendaya stepped aside to wait for her drink, she heard Amanda mutter loudly enough for the room to hear, "Seriously? Can people at least try to look presentable before coming in here?" Zendaya's ears burned, but she didn't react. She'd expected something like this. It was, after all, the point of her experiment. Liam, however, shot Amanda a disapproving glance before turning back to his work. Zendaya found a small table near the window and settled in, her latte cradled between her hands. From her seat, she had a clear view of the counter and the interactions that unfolded there. A middle-aged man approached the counter next. His clothes were slightly wrinkled, and he carried a tired, weathered look. He ordered a black coffee, fumbling with coins as he searched for the correct change. Amanda sighed audibly, tapping her pen against the counter. "It's fine," Liam interjected, sliding the man's coffee across the counter with a reassuring smile. "I've got it covered." The man nodded gratefully, his shoulders relaxing as he took his coffee and found a seat. Amanda, however, rolled her eyes. "You're too nice," she muttered to Liam. "People like that just take advantage." Liam ignored her, turning his attention to the next customer, a young mother with a toddler in tow. The child reached for the sugar packets on the counter, accidentally knocking them over. "Oh no, I'm so sorry," the mother exclaimed, frantically trying to gather the scattered packets. "It's okay," Liam said immediately, crouching down to help. "Happens all the time." Amanda, meanwhile, leaned against the wall, her phone in hand. "Maybe she should keep her kid under control," she muttered, loud enough for the mother to hear. Zendaya felt a flash of anger. She hadn't expected to witness such blatant disrespect, but here it was, playing out in real time. As the evening wore on and the cafe began to empty, Zendaya made her move. She approached the counter once more, her latte long finished but her observations complete. Liam was wiping down the espresso machine, his energy seemingly undiminished despite the long shift. Amanda stood nearby, scrolling through her phone. "Excuse me," Zendaya said softly, directing her words at Liam. He looked up, surprised. "Yes? Can I help you with something?" "I just wanted to say, you're really good at what you do," Zendaya began. "The way you treat people, it makes a difference. I noticed how kind you were to that man earlier, and to the mother with the toddler. Not everyone would do that." Liam blinked, clearly flustered. "Oh, thank you. I guess I think it's important to treat people well." Zendaya smiled, reaching into her pocket. She pulled out a sleek black card and handed it to him. Liam stared at it, his brow furrowing as he read the name printed in bold letters. Zendaya Coleman. "Wait, are you—" he stammered, his eyes darting from the card to her face. She nodded, pulling off her baseball cap to reveal her unmistakable curls. "Yes, it's me. And I think someone like you deserves more than just this job. Call the number tomorrow. I'd love to help you." The next day, Liam nervously dialed the number. To his amazement, it connected him to Zendaya's team, who invited him to an interview at her foundation for aspiring creatives. Within weeks, Liam was offered a position as a mentor for young artists, helping them navigate their careers and find their voices. Amanda, meanwhile, faced consequences for her behavior. After several complaints from customers and coworkers, she was let go. Her story served as a reminder that kindness, or the lack thereof, always leaves an impact. As for Zendaya, she continued to use her platform to uplift others, proving that even the smallest acts of kindness could create ripples of change. Whenever Liam passed by Harmony Grounds, he smiled, remembering the night that changed his life, and he carried Zendaya's words with him always. Kindness can go a long way.